Hello and welcome to another edition of the Biohacked Life podcast. Guys, I'm excited this morning. Got my man here that drove in from Mobile, Alabama to come jam with us this morning, guys. Braxton Gilbert is here.
What up?
We're going to talk about his story, where he's at, where he's going, and this is going to be a lot of fun. I feel like this is my brother from another mother just from the conversation we've had this morning. We see a lot of things the same. So Braxton has a gym in Mobile. He is health and fitness, but a very holistic approach to health and fitness that absolutely. I really, really dig. So one question I always like starting out with Braxton is, what is something you're grateful for?
Oh, dude, something I'm grateful for is to be able to do exactly what I do every single day. That is help people to identify what are the things that cause me to suffer. Mm-hmm. And because a lot of times they're a thought, not a situation. You know, I'm in a bad place in my job or my wife or my kids, or this is going sour, and man, I'm having a hard time because of it. And it's like, there's pain, obviously, but suffering, I think, is something that's optional. So I've had a wonderful experience with people in my life that have taught me a lot of things to be able to deal with that. And so the fact that I get to literally spend each day with somebody as they cry, and be like, man, that actually makes sense. That's truly something I'm extremely grateful for.
It's a blessing, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You know, I work with a group of doctors and people, and we literally, our goal every day is to change lives. Like that's what we tell each other. Like, hey, look, let's go change lives today. Yeah, let's go change lives today. And I tell people, like, you don't understand. That is the most addicting crack in the world. Yeah, is helping people. Yeah, when you're like literally changing someone's life, and you're just trying to help them become the best version of themselves. Yeah, what you're doing every day.
Yes, I mean, especially when you feel driven by, you know, everybody has different things they're driven by. When you feel that for you, the most important thing is contribution, to be able to contribute to someone's life, to be able to help them out. It's like when you do that, it's like a home run. Right. You know, when you feel like you're able to have someone go the same moments that have made you who you are, you know, and you're thankful for those other people. And especially whenever you have people that you can name off that say, this person, this or this person, these all help me out tremendously. Whenever you can almost see yourself, position yourself as that person to someone else, it's like, man, that's cool.
It's a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
All right, fun question.
Yep.
If you had to have a walkout song for life,
oh my God,
what would it be?
Dude, actually, I think I might know. I don't know the name of the band. It's Brighter Days. I just started listening to it like a few days ago. Gray? No, I don't know. It's so dope. Like it was like I literally got in the car and it was randomly playing, and I like cranked it up, rolled the windows down. And I was like, this is real deal, like one of the greatest songs. Brighter Days, Saint Raymond.
Saint Raymond. Okay.
I screenshot it on my phone. Like I was like, this is such a good song.
Fantastic.
At least for right now. That would be the walkout song.
I love it. It sounds like one of those songs I listen to all the time. Like it just makes me freaking happy.
It does.
Like it puts you in the right mindset.
It's like a jet ski. You can't really be sad while riding a jet ski. You can't be sad really while listening to this good music.
I love it. I love it. So guys, let's get into it, man. Let's explore this journey that is Braxton Gilbert. I think you're gonna dig this. So I have to ask this because some of our preliminary conversation before we jumped on, guys, and this is our first time ever meeting. Like I've been following this dude on social media and just loving his journey.
Thanks, man.
Because being in the health fitness world, you see a lot of people that are training. You see a lot of people helping with nutrition. But to really dive in to the mental health, which everyone knows, like that's my passion. But to see you dive into mental health the way you do, man, it's a beautiful thing.
Thanks.
And I commend you for that.
Thank you.
That holistic approach to health. That, I mean, he's training, he's helping his clients, but most of his content that he's posting is about mental health.
Yeah, most of it. I'm a really bad marketer for personal training. To be honest, I'm really bad at marketing personal training. I'm probably best at marketing meditation on a street corner more than anything else.
Oh my goodness. Okay, let's go ahead and grab everybody's attention with that. Your most recent post, I've probably shown 20 people already.
Really? Yeah. That's so funny.
It's amazing because like we're going to talk about meditation for a second. My favorite place to meditate, just for my own self, is like sitting on the edge of a mountain.
Yeah.
Like a cliff.
We're like so close to falling off and dying.
Right. So you're like, you're in this like heightened adrenaline state because
and you breathe,
you slip and you're dead.
Yep.
So I'm like dangling over a mountain, but able to and just be in that moment. And it's a beautiful thing for me just because like the whole height thing, and it's crazy. So my man here posted a video this past week meditating literally in the middle of a highway.
It was funny. Like it wasn't. I didn't plan on doing it either. I was driving up to see my brother in Tuscaloosa, and we got done hanging out that weekend. And I was coming back, and I was like, man, because meditation is an everyday thing for me, and I hadn't meditated that day. And I was like, are we going to meditate? And gosh, this is beautiful out here. That's what I was thinking. And it wasn't too busy. The street wasn't too busy, right. And so I thought, you know what? This is like a 6-lane highway. You know, it's totally underutilized, and so I just parked the car, set the phone up on the car, and just got the meditation in. And it was funny because like. It was everyone I've talked. Well, not everyone actually. There are some people that are like, "Hey, dude, I dig that." Like one of my best friends today, like commented on the post and was like, "I really support this," you know,
right?
Which is cool. But I had a lot of like air quote moms, my moms that were like,
"Yeah,
you are out your mind," you know, that kind of thing. Right. But dude, I will say, just like you're saying, like hang on the edge of a mountain, meditating, because so much like social anxiety and things with building a business originally. And so much stress and difficulty. It's like you have to, if you're going to be really like enjoy the process of it, you have to learn to be okay when a lot of things are really difficult. Mm-hmm. And so like, even though it may seem kind of weird, it's like sitting in a highway is like maybe the next step.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
And for me, that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's almost like living in a moment of duality. Like there's literally craziness going on around you.
Yeah.
But to be able to find peace and craziness, it's something you need to experience. Like people need to experience that, being able to have control of your thought processes and really your physiological processes at the same time,
and be at peace and truly be like actually not be afraid that a Tacoma is going to hit you,
right? And
like maybe now there's there's a really funny book I read that's talking about meditation, and one of the things to talk about was like your feelings being illusions and things. And but it also said, like, at what point, like, the guy who wrote the book was a really, really good author. I wish I could give him credit, and I don't know the guy. But he was talking about, like, at what point is it not good? Like, there's this famous monk, Quack, I think is his first name. And he, Lynch, I believe is his last name. Anyways, he lit himself on fire to protest the monarchy. And burned himself alive. And he sat there and burned alive. Like, didn't move a muscle. And he's like, okay, that like can't be helpful.
No.
Like, maybe that's not a good thing. You know, so there's a certain line of
probably
it.
Other ways to get your message across.
Well, yeah, that. And like there's a certain line of it too that's like, you know, you gotta think, okay, is this good? So like, you know, I don't know if good idea or not, definitely was a good opportunity to test how well am I able to hold my focus. Right. It started out much smaller though. Like the first thing I ever did with meditation in public was just simply like doing it in Starbucks.
Yeah.
And that was like really, really nerve-wracking.
It is.
Because like, people walking by you, and even worse, I would do it in like the university Starbucks. So there'd be like all these pretty girls around, you know, and you're like, close your eyes and like peeking. You're like, are they looking at me? Is this weird?
So was it nerve-wracking because of like thoughts of judgment?
You were worried about what people think of you. You're like, oh, like what if this looks weird? You know, I actually have a friend. I have a good friend to this day that we met. This is a really funny story. We met because he said when I opened my eyes, is the brownie that good? Because I was sitting there at Starbucks and I had a brownie that they had given me. They were giving out samples, right?
Yeah.
And I had eaten a little bit of it. And, you know, delighted by little things. I'm eating a little bit of it, writing things I'm thankful for. I'm doing my meditation. And I'm closing my eyes like this. And I'm sitting there breathing. I'm smiling. And I open my eyes and he goes, is it that good? I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, the brownie, is that good? And we laughed about it. And then now we're friends. But yeah, it's like you're sitting there going like, dude, what if these people think I'm weird? Mm-hmm. I'm sitting here because I pulled my chair out. I'm sitting there just like this, you know, hands on the legs, breathing. Trying to focus on things I'm grateful for, and now it's challenging. Now it's like I could do it naked in the middle of the mall. That's okay with me. I probably won't do that. I'll do a live video if I do that.
Well, that would. Yeah. My question was like, I wonder if I call the cops on him for sitting in the middle of the road.
That was the thought afterwards.
Once you know, like the adrenaline of doing it first, I'm sure kicked in. You're like, okay, yeah, sure, let's go.
Great idea. Yeah, great idea.
I'm sure if you did a live where you're naked in the mall meditating, you probably might get some, at least mall security called on you.
You get some flack.
Yeah.
That's a definite.
It's definitely looked down upon. But here's the thing, like I want people to kind of understand about your story is that's kind of a far cry from where you used to be.
Yeah.
So talk to a little bit about people like, so anytime you go down a path like this, a lot of times there is some sort of instant trauma past that leads you to say, okay, I've got to change. I've got to go into personal growth. Like I have to change my life. What was going on in your life that propelled you down this path?
Yeah. So like I think one of the biggest things for me was like turning away from the lack of judgment for yourself. Mm-hmm. So here's what happened. So I was addicted to pornography for like 10 years growing up. And I found myself in San Diego, in California, going to 2 strip clubs as a Baptist boy that's on a trip to see his friend from church.
Right. Nice.
Right? And I get back and like I'm literally wrecked. I'm like, I've genuinely done the worst thing I could ever have done in my life. Right? This is the most terrible thing. So I'm getting back and I'm sitting there and I'm talking to this guy. I go see a psychologist because I'm like, I've got to get a grip of my life.
Right.
I think I've done the worst thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I get down and I talk to him. I'm like, dude, I like totally messed up, you know? And he's like, you know, tell me about what's going on. Like, right. I was like, dude, I went to 2 strip clubs and I did this and I shouldn't have done this and like this, blah, blah, blah. And he stops me. Yeah, he stops me and goes, wait. How was the strip club? And I was like, I stopped and I was like, what? I'm like a middle confessional, you know? He's like, how was the strip club? I was like, I don't know what you mean. And he's like, you're smiling ear to ear. How was the strip club?
Yeah.
And I laughed and said, it was great. Thanks. And he said, would you want to go back? And I was like, yeah, sure. But I probably shouldn't, you know? And he said, great. Now let's talk about it.
Right.
And it was like, boom. In my head, I was like, huh.
Why was it so bad?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
He was like, then we had a conversation about like, is it a bad thing? Or is it not a bad thing?
Why is it a bad thing?
Yeah.
Who says it's a bad thing?
That's the question.
Right.
And it's like being in that conversation made me first question, there's this little voice inside of you that kind of helps you navigate life and tells you what's good and what's not.
Right.
A great, and I will say this already. I'll give this disclaimer. I get very excited about things, and I have the probably maybe mistake, if not maybe gift, I don't know, of talking about something like it's my whole life mission. And maybe it's just something I'm excited about.
Dude has a great energy.
Thanks. But this particular thing. So, you know, like I am really a young 21-year-old guy who is fascinated by probably intellectualizing things like religion and stuff like that, especially being raised Christian and have Christian foundations. But then I also begin to explore and go like, I'll give you an example. As a Christian, growing up Christian, like, don't do this, don't do that. Which is not, like, by the way, it's not the goal of Christianity.
Right.
Not at all. Not at all. However, the goal is not to do some things.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, the goal is not to watch pornography, right? The goal is not to go to strip clubs. So it was hard, and, like, that's why I feel like this thought process is so healthy for whatever religion someone practices. It was hard to go, hey, I do make mistakes, and that's all right. You know? Maybe you really enjoyed doing that thing. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's not good for you. And go a little deeper with that thing of why is it not good for you? Right. Maybe why is it not a good idea based on what you value, right? There's a really good book that's called The 4 Agreements. That in the same time. You read it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Hell yeah. It's awesome. The 4 Agreements was, also a book that I read in the kind of the same year, probably about a year and a half ago. And dude, that was a really, really impactful book for me. So with those 2 things happening kind of led me to start going, okay, what is it that makes you think that something is wrong or not wrong? And it's so strong. What is that? And you stop and you begin to observe it.
Yeah.
Not so much, you're not subject to it, you observe it. Mm-hmm. And I come back to the point I was going to make was like the thing that made me go, head scratch.
Yeah.
Seriously, was the fact that I could not stop watching porn. Could not. Every day, multiple times a day. Then, after that, it was like the first time I ever watched porn and then was like, I'm human.
Yeah.
Maybe I got a sex drive. Maybe I'm a 20-year-old guy who has a sex drive. I guess that's normal. It was like that moment. I rarely do I think that life changes in an instant because it's definitely
it's normally like a culmination that peaks.
But dude, it was like a switch in my brain. It was like I actually the first time just chose to watch pornography. I wasn't like, oh, I bowed down to this thing that I can't change. It was like, hey, you chose it, and then literally for like 5-6 months, nothing. And that's when I questioned like, how come this thing of being like, sure, do it if you want to. Mm-hmm. How come that thing was the thing that made you okay with it. Like, was no longer difficulty.
Yeah.
So that was for me, like, what made me go, okay, I really want to dig into this whole mind stuff. What is going on in the brain?
Right.
That's where I started.
Were you already like training and stuff at that point?
Yeah. Yeah, for like 4.5 years.
So you're
clients.
Yeah, you're already working with clients at that point on the physical side.
Always, yeah. But then it's like, for now we're adding. Hold up, wait a minute. You know, like, I just found out.
Let's
something
go a little deeper here.
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, I found out the reason you can't lose weight is not just because you can't do all the cardio you need to do. You think you can't actually lose weight. That's the thing that's keeping you from losing weight.
Right.
Stuff like that.
See, and that's why, like, I love this dude's journey and everything he's putting out right now, especially content-wise, what he's doing in his gym, is we share that belief. You know, guys that know my story, like, I started out health coaching where, hey, this is your diet, this is your exercise plan, like, boom, if you do this, like, we're going to see these results. And while health coaching, I spent 90% of my time being a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychiatrist, but I'm realized
not a psychiatrist. Just so anyone knows that I'm not a psychologist.
But like, I realized that's the battle. The battle is mental, way more than this physical. And what's cool about what you did is, like, you literally went into the Socratic method of questioning everything. Yeah. Okay, why did I do that? Okay, well, what led me to thinking that way?
Yeah.
What made this emotion come up?
Yeah.
And you dove down that rabbit hole and did some real deep introspective work.
Yeah.
That scares a lot of people.
Yeah.
It scares a lot of people because that's where your demons are at.
Yeah. It's very hard to question what you believe. However, I've been that way since I was a kid.
Have you?
Yeah. Like,
naturally inquisitive.
Yeah. Like, I remember I think I was in like first grade, and I asked my mom, I said, well, we can go backtrack. I asked my mom when I was probably like, I think in kindergarten, I was like, hey mom, so since you get saved and you can't lose your salvation, so I can do whatever I want now? And then I remember in first grade, I asked my mom, I said, Mom, what is God's like other responsibilities other than earth? Like, after, like, I get this is a lot to manage, but like, what else?
Yeah.
You know, so I've always been, I was always told my mom, especially going to, like, you know, public schools and stuff, was like, I'm okay with these conversations. I loved the conversations that would ensue between me and someone else who had a different religion. Because it's like, hey, this person was Buddhist or Muslim or something like that, and I'd be okay with it. Because I always had the thought, and I always told people this, I'm okay with talking about it because I think if you chime in and I chime in, whatever's true is probably going to end up on top, right? Now I had the thought process that there was this, like, capital T truth, metaphysical, everybody could be okay with it and would be sure, but, you know, it's definitely more subjective, especially when you're just discussing among peers. But yeah, I've always enjoyed that and been more kind of naturally more question and start to begin to do that. So I was okay with going in that zone a little bit more than I think most people would. But it still was scary as hell. It still was very difficult to do.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I've always had a very, like, nerdish, inquisitive mind. Like, I always wanted to know information. I always wanted to know more. I always wanted to go down the rabbit hole. But personally, I always held back from doing that because it was almost like I was dealing with a self-worth issue. And I didn't want to go there because I was already dealing with my self-worth. I was already dealing with depression and anxiety and dealing with these mental issues. So I didn't want to go down, especially for myself. I had no problem learning the rabbit hole of something external.
Yeah.
But to actually flip that around,
Look inside yourself,
to the internal, was brutal.
Yeah.
Like, I spent, you know, about 6 months doing it when I was writing my book.
Yeah.
And there was times I'd cry. There was times I'd laugh. And like, I was experiencing all these emotions that I should have been experiencing my entire life.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
But I had repressed.
Yeah.
And compartmentalized and said, no, I don't want to deal with that right now.
I don't want to deal with that.
And one of the beautiful things about what this guy has done that I love, because I've recently experienced this in the last few years, is he actually experiences emotions.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you actually, like, talk to people about, like, the importance of actually sitting in your emotions.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about this before we started recording this. I learned in a book, because I dealt with depression for like 5-6 years, really, really bad. Probably from maybe 8th grade-ish to maybe a year or so after high school was over. And if anyone deals with chronic depression, they understand the sense of, like, just numbness.
Right. Yeah.
You're just kind of numb, like,
no sense of purpose.
Yeah, it's just kind of rough, and like, you're sad, like you just have a feeling of hopelessness in your heart. Like, there's not really a reason for it. For me, like, thinking made me just like set it off. It's like, oh, now I'm depressed.
Right.
And it feels like you're being broken up with but it's like no reason.
Yeah.
So anyways, that was challenging. And I've got a funny story about the initial thing that kind of helped me cope with that.
Let's go there, bro.
So
we got plenty of time.
so here's what happened. This is it's probably a good background. So I was with my friend Nathan Smith. Shout out my boy Nathan Smith if you listen. We were hanging out at the house in the kitchen making eggs, and he said, "Hey man, what's the matter?" I'm like, maybe in 10th grade, right? 10th grade. He's like, "Hey man, what's the matter?" I was like, "Just one of those days, man." And he's like, he said this. He said, "I don't like that."
Great answer.
And I'm like, well, me neither. Like, well, here's my shackles, right? Me neither. This is just what I deal with. And he said, snap out of it. And I was like, you don't even understand, cooking eggs. And he's like, no, come on, man. And he's like very persuasive. So he's like, come on, nudging me and stuff. And so I'm just sitting there and I'm like, no, dude, like you don't understand. Like I can't snap out of this. It's just like, it's how I'm feeling. And so he pesters me for like 10 minutes, 10 freaking minutes of just being
a great friend.
Yeah, I'd be annoyed. And eventually I'm laughing at him. And he's like, come on, man. So I've already got the eggs out. I'm like eating and we're arguing. And I'm like, I can't. And he's like yelling at me. And then eventually we're laughing so loud. And then he's like, fine, whatever, fine. I'm good. I'm great.
Great friend.
Life's awesome, And he tossed me a basketball and said, let's go play. So we went outside and started hooping. And it was like the first like realization for me that, wait, holy heck. Even though it was like a super high pressure situation and I had a best friend of mine literally like, come on, dude, do something different.
Yeah.
I feel different.
What for you? What led you to depression? Like, what internal battle were you facing?
I was in 4th grade. My grandmother died, and it rocked my world.
Yeah,
it rocked my world. I was the only 4th grader that cried every day going to school because I didn't want to leave my mom. Like it was really crazy.
But what were you thinking? Like, do you remember what you were thinking like that during that?
I was thinking that if I leave my parents, they're gonna die too.
Yeah.
And that's really morbid, but that was the thoughts of a 4th grader who experienced death for the first time. It was like, if I leave them, I would actually ask my parents to promise me that they would not die when I was at school. And my parents never would. They're like, we can't make you that promise.
Oh, wow. Good parents.
Yeah. Kudos to Lori Gilbert.
Right.
I was like, no, I need to, she's like, I'm not making that promise because I can't tell you, like really good, like face reality, right?
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Good parents.
But yeah, that was such bad. Like I started a ton of anxiety with it.
Yeah.
That was what I mean, I don't know if I would 100% contribute it to it because I really don't, I can't tell everything about my life, but that was the first time I ever experienced crippling anxiety and depression. And that was kind of like, I remember just like, even in 6th, 7th, 8th grade, like just crying, going to sleep at night. Especially on like the weekends, like going back to school the next, like no one likes Mondays, I get that. But it was something deeper. It was like, I just had this emptiness in my heart. And we even started doing like movie nights and stuff on the weekends, my family, just to try to do something, So
do you think that when your grandmother died, like it just kind of sent you down that path?
I don't know.
Like that, because that's what I'm like, as I'm sitting here talking to you, like that's my question is what prolonged the depression?
So yeah, well, I could answer that. I could probably answer that question now more intellectually.
Yeah.
So I think probably what happened, because I know this is a big part of me getting past it, was once I realized that depression was a temptation for me just as much as like anything else was. Like it gave me something. It was
What do you mean by
rewarding.
temptation?
Like it was a cheap way to get something that I could get out another way.
Okay.
Love, acceptance, attention.
Yeah.
And that's not saying it's for everyone, it's my personal experience. But like I want to have friends. I want to have people care about me. And like if you're a nice guy and like I'm around you, then like a really easy way to get you to be like, hey bro, what's the matter? Hey,
yeah, okay.
I care about you. My attention's in all these other things I'm doing. And then if I want to bring it to, you, all you gotta do is kind of zone in a little bit. And I think, I don't know for certain, but I think that was probably something that probably helped prolong it. It was like you got enough times you were rewarded.
I was about to say you got addicted to the reward.
You were rewarded for feeling depressed.
Yeah.
So then your kind of your train of thought goes, and this is kind of really crazy, and I hope a lot of people listen to this. Like your train of thought goes, I want to feel good, right? So does everyone else. So instead of like, all right, being grateful, seeing where things are hard, taking life for what it is, giving love, receiving love, and feeling good, I can like really feel bad. So other people ask me how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
That way I know people care about me, so then I feel good.
External validation versus internal validation.
Yeah.
So I used to do it as a kid too. I would, so I always dealt with like self-worth issues, loneliness,
Wow.
which led to my like depression issues. So I would like fake being sick at school so my grandmother would come pick me up.
Yeah.
I would
I resonate with that 100%.
like because at school I felt like such an outsider. I didn't fit in, and I was the fat kid.
Yeah.
So I was getting picked on and bullied, and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh man, my head's killing me. I think I need to check out and go home.
Boom, reward.
And hold on, the reward goes deeper.
Yeah.
So not only did I have an amazing, loving grandmother that would come pick me up and just like be that Southern belle she is of an amazing grandmother, but she would also take me home, and I knew where her little Debbies were hidden.
Oh man.
So I'm getting like that love reward, and then I'm getting like that food pleasure reward.
Yeah.
And that cycle,
Yeah.
that was one of the hardest cycles I've ever had to break.
I understand that.
So I completely understand what you're saying with like being in that spot. And I literally talked to a client about this last night. It's that external validation. It's a drug.
Yeah.
It's completely a drug that you form an addiction to.
Yeah.
Because when we don't have the internal validation, like we have to have that slow drip of external validation, and when we don't have it, that's when we go into depression. That's when we go, down that just negative, dark place.
Yeah. And go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was about to ask you a question.
Well, I think too, then you add on to that, like what we talked about earlier, which is like, I wish more people understood emotions.
Yeah.
Because like the amount of books and things that I've read that have been like, and literally if you're like, hey, well, what's this guy talk about? Any type of work book, like work through book on anything that is like an emotion, like read it. Because like I've probably read 6 or 7, whether it's like food addiction or it's like depression or anxiety or mindfulness or it's some type of like narcissism, or like anything you can read through because you'll understand people better. It'll make more sense when people act like they do, and you'll be able to understand yourself better.
But you're saying something important right now is to actually work through the book.
Yeah. Actually, like I did, the thing that then helped me out with pornography was a food addiction workbook. Because I understood the difference between impulsive and compulsive addictions. Yeah. So it was like, that helped me tremendously. But anyways, the depression, I think something else that gets added onto it, which makes depression so difficult, especially with, I wouldn't know, maybe especially. I'd say especially. I want to say especially, but I don't know if it would be especially with younger people. I think younger people are probably much more involved in other people's lives, like, Instagram and stuff like that. But we don't think about sadness, grief, heartbreak being sweet. We don't think about it being like, this is like part of life. Here I am alive as a human being experiencing heartbreak.
Okay. I watched, so last night, and this is like crazy how this is working. Last night I got back from Spanish Fort. We were working with some other doctors over there. I got back late, and I get home, and I make myself a salad and eat dinner like at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I turn on the movie A Star Is Born, the new one. Have you seen it? Okay. So it's an old movie, so I can do the spoiler alert here because it's been around forever. It's an old Barbra Streisand movie. So like the main character, like the 2 main characters, Lady Gaga plays the female lead, and she does a fantastic job.
I'm sure she does.
She's amazing in this movie. Like I'm falling more and more in love with her as the movie's going on.
She's got that 5'7" movie. Have you seen that?
No.
Yeah, it's a documentary. It's pretty cool.
Okay, yeah, I need to watch that. Like as the movie's going on, I'm like, man, I need a Lady Gaga in my life. Like she's amazing in this movie. But like they fall in love, and like the kind of love they share is just like a beautiful, messed up love. Like
who falls in love?
Like the 2 main characters, Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper.
Okay.
Like 2 main characters. And Bradley Cooper is like struggling with alcohol addiction the entire movie. Just battling it. Even goes to rehab and relapses. Yeah. Just battling it. End of the movie takes his life.
In the movie, he takes his life.
Yeah. And just because he can't, he feels like he's hurting everyone in his life. Wow. And he's pulling everyone's life down with him. Yeah. Because of his addictions and because of the way he keeps screwing up. But like I watched this movie, and of course, like I have no shame in admitting I was crying at the end. Just because I've been on that verge a couple times in my life. So like I understand where he was at. But walking away from the movie, like I was able to say, man, the love they shared though. Yeah. Man, it was they had their problems and they had their issues, but it was a beautiful love. Mm-hmm. And she sang a song at the end of the movie that he wrote like pretty much for her.
She sang it.
And she sang it. Tears running down her face, and it was just a beautiful beautiful moment.
Yeah.
But, you know, the old me, that movie would have like crushed me.
And now I'm sad for like a year.
Yeah. It would just like crush me. Like, you know, when 13 Reasons first came out, like, that show like screwed me up. I'm like, good God, like I've been here. Like, this is crazy. Like, this is like reliving my life, like growing up.
Yeah.
But I was able to watch the movie last night and walk away from the movie like, yeah, of course I cried. But like I walked away from the movie like, man, this was just a beautiful story.
Yeah.
Well told, beautiful story.
Yeah, with all the emotions.
With all the emotions.
Yep.
And like, yeah, it affected me in that moment. But I was able to like walk away from like, man, that was just a beautiful story.
Yeah. And that's like a deeper appreciation for all your emotions. And I think that is a key if you're someone who's inclined to deal with depression. You have to look at it from the perspective of like the numbness and the sadness. Because then like you go like, okay, now I've watched 13 Reasons Why. I'm super upset about things. And now I'm going to like try to survive for the next 2 weeks away from this terrible feeling of pain that I would give away with if I could, but I can't. So let's just like ignore it. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So that's what
Put
a
in
lot
this
of
compartment and bury it.
just bear it. And that's what a lot of times I learned to do with depression. So then it's like what prolonged it is then also like, this is really cool. Like the cycle of like making a bad decision of like, okay, so painful event, you're upset.
Right.
2 options. You approach it, you feel it, you sit, you cry, you grieve, you write about it, tell people about it, think about it, reflect about it. Or you avoid it. Hoorah. You know, man chops, and you're, I'm good, you know?
The achievement caterpillar.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so you avoid it, and you keep on, you know, like, I'm good. You know, I ain't got time for this. I'm good. She can leave. I don't care.
Right.
Or
when you're dying on the inside.
Yeah, like, or whatever it is, right? So you're like, you avoid the thing. And then, like, because you avoided it, like, that is a painful event. It's very there. And so the only thing you, like, the skill you develop to survive that is, like, becoming more, like, just turned off to your emotions.
Right.
And, well, hello, other emotions are joy and pleasure and happiness. And, like, this hamburger tastes great. Like,
which you can't experience because you're so used to being numb to emotions.
Yeah. I survived this tragic event, a breakup or you know, the economic downturn or whatever, by numbing myself to painful emotions. So I only experienced 30% of my emotions. And so then if you struggle with depression, you know what I mean? You're hanging out with friends and family. Life is great. Hoorah. It's Thanksgiving. And you're like, you know, you're sitting there like, I don't feel happy, because no one would feel happy if they were feeling 30% of this event. But that's what made you survive, and your brain is more built to keep you going than it is to make you experience the pain, go through it. I know it's
survival
hard.
mechanism.
Yeah, so it's like, it's really, but like, you know, prolonging depression is like, then you don't have the wonderful times of family that you should. And then now I'm depressed. Plus I don't have my wonderful times of family. Plus I don't go out because I'm sad, you know, and then now I don't have any friends.
Just perpetuating it.
I'm eating more Debbie cakes. So now I'm fat without friends, and I'm still sad because I never dealt with the breakup.
Right.
2 years later, here I am, all these other things.
Yeah.
And I'm underperforming in my job because I'm just too exhausted from the fact I stayed up all night last night because I don't want to deal with my emotions watching Netflix. Welcome to 2018, baby.
Yeah, I love it. It's so true. So for me, I had to fully appreciate, I had to fully like understand the dark to appreciate the light. And I had to fully like go down and feel those emotions, exactly what you're talking about. I had to fully feel those emotions and understand why I was feeling them. And the kind of the analogy I tell people is like right now in my life, I'm a very passionate, emotional guy. Like I can get charged up about things now, where the old me, no, bro, I was flatline. I was flatline. I was like the most laid back on the surface person you'd ever meet in your life.
On the surface.
But like I relate it to a roller coaster. Like who wants to ride a roller coaster with no ups and downs and turns?
That's good.
Nobody does.
That's good.
I want to ride a freaking roller coaster that's taking me to mountaintops, then dropping me to the floor, and then we're banking at 90 degrees. Like that to me is a life well lived. I can't appreciate the depths of love and the true joy that's in this world unless I understand like what pain actually feels like.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can experience the love to the depth of it too.
Yeah.
Like if you that's why if you are going through a hard time, the hardest thing to do, but the best thing to do is to go get away from a lot of things for a moment, put 10 minutes on a timer on your phone and go, I'm going to sit right by this thing and feel it. Depression, sadness, whatever it is, because like then you're like training yourself to be emotionally aware and emotionally sensitive. Because guess what? You know what else is in the room when you're with friends and family? A lot of fun. And like you're missing out on it because you're like, oh, I'm not looking. I'm not going to feel it. So 100%. Like that is the vitality of life. It's having lots of pain that's really difficult, and lots of pleasure and lots of satisfaction and joy and fulfillment, and then downsides and upsides. Absolutely.
Life is a beautiful journey. But I think we're born to enjoy life, but conditioned to exist in life.
I agree with it. Survival mode.
Yeah. Like so many people go through life and they get in survival mode. They get into the routine of life and they forget that, like, what's the point? Like, why are you living if you're just working a job, raising a family, and not like actually consciously living in that?
I'm glad you're 34. I'm 21. And you know what? Like the thing is, I genuinely cannot wait. There's like one thing that makes me motivated to get older. And that is to keep this mindset.
Yeah.
Keep this mentality. I can't wait to be 55 years old and haven't been in a career for 30 years.
Yeah.
Because it was already people that were older than me, 45, 55, 60, Richard Branson, 70, that have made me think this way.
Right.
But the thing I long for so badly is the people that I work for, even too, and the people that I have the chance to talk with. It's like, yeah, I'm overweight. I can't lose weight. That's the problem, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I feel you.
The problem is you're telling yourself that.
Well, you're telling yourself. And then like as you talk more, it's like, bro, there's like absolutely nothing in your life that you're like excited about either.
Right.
Or passionate about, right? Like, so like how in the world are we going to make this thing happen if you're just going to a job you hate working, spending 8 hours doing it, and then it's like, well, I would, but I can't because I have these bills to pay. Right. Or why are you paying this, expensive car note? Or why are you paying this expensive house note? Well, and then he goes back, wait. And then like after 15 minutes, they're crying, you're crying, and they're going, I never felt good enough, growing up. And this is my way of accomplishing that. And then problem on top of problem on top of problem. And then now here I am trying to lose weight, but it's not going to happen.
Once again, seeking external validation through cars, money, jobs, instead of looking internally for internal validation.
And go, hey, I'm good. I've got jacked up qualities, and I got great qualities.
Right?
What up?
I'm a phenomenal human being, and I love on people. Like, that's what I do.
Yep.
And instead of, like, have that be your self-authoring program, everybody is, oh, man, I got to go make this amount of money to do this. And
they lose that ability to dream.
They do.
My
wife's not going to love me unless I buy her this new car. My kids won't like me unless I'm putting them in the best programs out there and, doing this, and this for them, take them to Disney World this year. And they start like having that be their belief system.
Yeah.
And they just start designing their entire life over how to make everyone else happy.
Check boxes, make ends meet.
Yeah.
Instead of like, wait. I was supposed to like really be like excited about something today.
Right.
I wish everyone had like the type of drive. I've got a very good drive.
You do.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That you have as a 9th grader in the gym like a week before homecoming. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I
know exactly.
Like, because I ask guys that all the time and girls that all the time. Like where's the zeal at? Like where's like the, I want to attack something. I want to get after life. Like when you were a kid and you wanted to get in shape. You liked a girl or liked a guy, I really admire people like Tony Robbins and Sage Robbins. I was watching an interview of them this morning, actually, on relationships and just talking about keeping the relationship fresh, always bringing your best person to the table, always being present for the person, and like carving out time to develop and care for each other. And it's like, we don't do that. I do that, but most people don't do that.
No.
Most people don't give their best to their friends or their relationships, romantic or whatever it is, right? You go cold, you get in survival mode, which is normal, but you need somebody that's in your life that says, hey, dude, you got to wake up. Like I'll get you, like kind of spiderwebbed yourself into a really bad place right now. Let's give it, 4 or 5 years, and let's try to kind of slowly begin to meander our way to living to where you really are glad to be in the place you are. Right.
So my whole thing is I always ask people in the front end, like, hey, what's your definition of happiness? Because I want to know where they're at. I want to know where their headspace is. Like, what's your definition of happiness? Is it money, cars, the check boxes? And if so, we need to talk about that.
Why is it that?
Yeah, why? Like, let's get to the real reasons. Like, why do you feel that way? Most of the time it's that whole external, internal validation thing. But what's sad is most people I have to ask that question to, 8 out of 10 can't give me a real answer.
Yeah.
And that breaks my heart every time. They're like, oh, well, I love my job and my kids. And I'm like, but what makes you happy?
Yeah.
I have to tell people, if you're not living for happiness, what are you living for? Because only once you're in the pursuit of your own, and I know happiness it's a debatable, fleeting term.
Sure.
There's hedonic set points and hedonic adaptation where, today's happiness is not necessarily tomorrow's happiness. I understand that. Yeah. But being in the pursuit of total fulfillment in your happiness in life and being fulfillment. If you're not living for that, I don't understand what you're here for.
I also think it feels like you have, at least for me, I feel like I have a purpose.
That's what I'm saying.
So if you're not, it makes me excited to feel like I'm fulfilling that.
Yeah.
And it's hard, I think, too, for parents and stuff. I don't have kids, but I know a lot of parents. I know parents on both sides of the fence, but I know some parents that are like, I have my kids to watch out for now. And it's I absolutely agree with that. But they're also you still are a person. As I won't speak much on that because I'm not a parent, but cool things like that,
Yeah. So I'm not a parent either. But when it comes to that, when it comes to any relationship, so mother, father, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, any relationship, you can only help someone else. You can only put happiness in someone else out of an overflowing cup. You can't make someone else happy unless you're first happy.
And then you can't even make them happy.
No.
I heard there's a guy, Les Brown.
Oh yeah.
He says, you got to quit trying to change people. It's a full-time job trying to change yourself.
That's exactly right. And, so many parents, the reason why they quote unquote struggling with being a parent is because they're not able to give energy. They're not able to give good energy to their kids.
Yeah.
They're trying to pour from a freaking empty bottle and they're shaking at it like this, trying to be a parent. And I'm like, hey, look, I don't know. We're gonna have to talk about this, but we need to actually put some water back in here.
Yeah.
So you have something to pour out. Mm-hmm. Let's take care of you for a little while. I don't care if it's my mom. She used to go lock herself in her bathroom to
have her time.
Yeah,
it's good.
Where she would read for 10 minutes.
Good, Mom.
Do something to put some water back in her freaking cup.
Kudos to your mama.
Right?
That's awesome.
So she can come back and give her kids energy.
Yeah, and it's good too because then you go well, you don't understand. You understand. Well, what's your goal with this? My goal is to be a great parent. Or let's say, what's your for me? My goal is to run an awesome company and have a gym that helps a lot of people. We've serviced over 4,000 clients at this point with personal training.
Wow.
And we've got a great team of staff that love training, love health, and we keep growing it. It's you don't understand. It's I have people's jobs that I support. I've got hundreds of people that I work for, and give an example. The other day I went to lay down and take a nap, and I was exhausted, and I was I didn't take a nap, so I went to lay down and take a nap, and I remembered, oh snap, I've got to send somebody something.
Yeah,
and I said, you know what? I'm gonna take a nap. I decided to go. I was maybe I'll remember it when I wake up. But if I can't have the skill to take a nap when I need to rest, how am I ever going to be really, really good at being a boss? How does Richard Branson run 400 freaking companies and play tennis for an hour? If I feel, I can't, I need to take a nap, and I can't do it because I'm stressed and I've got all this stuff going on. You're a better mom then. You're a better dad.
Popularity of hustle.
Yeah.
It's got to be a grind. It's got to be a hustle. There's a big difference between quantity and quality.
Yeah.
When I'm grinding hardcore and just putting in a ton of hours, I'm literally at about 60 to 70% capacity. Mm-hmm. But when I'm slowing down and refilling my cup first, I'm able to get twice the quality work done in less time.
Mental acuity is something really cool. Actually, I listened to Elon Musk talk about it one time.
Mm-hmm. Jeez, that alien.
Yeah. He was talking about, they were asking how many hours of sleep a night he gets. Because he's CEO of 2 companies, SpaceX and Tesla.
And his brain doesn't shut off.
Yeah, it doesn't show. And so he's 6, 7, gets up at 7. I used to feel really guilty in the morning, every morning when I woke up. Mm-hmm. I felt bad every morning because I felt like I should have got up earlier. I should have started
That's
earlier.
me too.
3:30 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning, 5:30. Because that's how I started as a trainer. I work out 3:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock. We're at the gym at 4 a.m. killing it.
Yeah.
And so then once your responsibilities change, and now it's probably better for you to get in a little bit later and work on things with different staff members and have meetings and reports and stuff like that, 7:30, dude, if I woke up when the sun shines up, I'm I am literally the scum of the earth.
Yeah.
But like, then he's like, yeah, I get up at 7:30. And it's kind of comical because like, the whole grind hustle thing is like, hold on.
Yeah.
I'm BA because I get up before, but Elon Musk gets up at 7:30 and he runs 2 companies. I got something wrong here.
Yeah. And he's literally building underground highways in Los Angeles right now.
Yeah.
Like the dude, like once you like, he runs 2 companies, but then you see like, he does like build underground highways for fun.
Yeah.
Because he's tired of driving in traffic. So, hey, I need to build a highway in LA. Like,
Makes
that's
sense.
just something not normal people do. But the fact that he can still sleep 6-7 hours a night, like that goes back to the, hey, quality over quantity.
It's a really good place to look at people like him, people like Richard Branson, to go, and those are the first 2 people that come to mind. If you're stressed, if you can't have time to go sit in the bathroom by yourself for 10 minutes, right? And go just, then like, there's probably something off. It's not the situation that's too stressful, that I have too many employees or too many kids or too many things going on. It's probably just you're not that good at dealing with the amount of things that are being thrown at you. So the only way you're going to get good at that is to stop and take care of the thing that processes it all, which is that little few pound gray matter here in your head. So let's stop and breathe. And then, like we said earlier, when you're in a different state, you use more of your brain. You don't use the amount of the synapses don't fire off as well in your brain. If you're angry or frustrated, why did you punch your brother? I don't know. I was angry. I wouldn't do that, but I was mad, and I made a bad decision. So it's like valuing mental clarity, breathing, taking 10 minutes. Like I told you earlier when we talked about meditation, it started out originally because I'd take 5 minutes meditate before I do work. Because I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna do an hour worth of work, I'm gonna do 55 minutes worth of work and get 5 minutes of just being grateful.
Yeah.
Of something, and then begin, because then you think so much better. It's not, you're not acting anymore, and this is probably really good for practicality sense. You're now not acting anymore out of fear, right? Out of fear and frustration and stress and I gotta get this done. Now it's like I'm excited about what I'm creating with my kids, or excited about what I'm creating with this company, or the opportunities we have to give back. Opportunity versus obligation. Eric Thomas talks about it, and that is like a good practice to have every day. If you really want to go, I want to see if I can switch my mind from thinking about obligation all day long, what I got to do, to like, you know what can I do today to be better at whatever I am? A mom, a dad, run a company, be a trainer. I was a janitor in a gym. That's how I started out. Got a job as a janitor for membership. That was my trade-off.
I love that.
And it's like, hey, this is an opportunity to do something really great.
Right.
And you build it from there,
Okay, so I've had over a half gallon of water today. I'm gonna take a quick pee break because I'm about to blow up. So we're gonna continue this because I got some more stuff I want to talk about.
I have to pee so bad too.
I do too.
Elon Musk just tweeted. He said the Boring Company is building a watchtower in LA out of dirt bricks, and we need a knight to yell insults at people in a French accent. That guy is such a crazy dude. That's awesome. That's so funny.
Yeah, we share a mutual affection for Elon Musk and his brilliantness.
Dude, driving a Tesla, the only thing that's like, this is incredible, is the fact that I think about Elon Musk drives a Tesla.
So do you know what Easter eggs are in video games?
Yeah, I know they have the Tesla have them.
Yeah.
I use them.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like the Santa Claus one. I'm like on my dashboard, I'm Santa Claus. Yeah, it's super cool.
But like, have you done the one where the car dances?
I don't have the X. The Model S doesn't do it.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, the Model X is a ballerina thing.
That's so crazy.
So I don't have any of that. It's a 2014 too, so it's like it doesn't have like all the capabilities and stuff.
But it's still like to have Easter eggs in a car.
Yeah, it's super cool. If you pull the self-drive thing 4 times, it starts playing the SNL audio for the cowbell.
Does it really?
Yeah, and it turns the road into rainbows, and just boom, 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 and you can't turn it off. It's so funny.
And I love that about him because it shows that you still gotta have a little fun.
Just have fun with it. Yeah,
you still gotta enjoy life. But what you were saying just now is like the opportunity versus obligation thing. And for me, I think the way you get from obligation to opportunity is through gratitude.
Yeah, it's good.
My boss and not my boss, my business partner and I, we'll take like some crazy road trips where we'll decide on Thursday to drive to San Antonio on a Friday just to be back by Monday morning. Yeah. Like we'll just go on these crazy road trips for work stuff. And like we'll be driving, and of course it's a 9-hour drive from Biloxi to San Antonio. And the whole time we're like, bro, this is what we get to do for a living.
That's so cool.
Like we're sitting here in a car, And we're just like listening to personal growth or making phone calls or having 3-way calls with people we work with. And we're driving to San Antonio to literally spend maybe 12 to 24 hours there.
Yeah.
And just love on and pour on people while we're there, help some people out, and then we come home.
And yeah, this is great.
And like most people look at us when we do that kind of thing, they're like, "Oh man, that's crazy! Like, why wouldn't you just fly? Like, what?" I'm like, well, we get 18 hours of fellowship.
Yeah,
we get 18 hours of work in, and we get to make pit stops at cool restaurants and just
coffee shops. And stuff.
Yeah, enjoy the journey. And then we get there and we get to love on people. Now, don't get me wrong. Mondays when we get back, we're dog tired.
Yeah, but it's like, oh, that was so great. It's like after a good party or hangout, you're like, that was an awesome night.
One of the trips we took, like we're driving back late Sunday, and we just like we're both like I looked over at him, he just got this like little smirk on his face, like he just kind of like you could just tell he was in a complete state of gratitude.
Yeah,
and
that's cool.
I noticed it because I was just like in a complete state of gratitude. I'm like, yeah, we slept like 4 hours last night.
Yeah,
but the amount of people that we've had an opportunity to fellowship and work with the last 12 hours we've been here. What a blessing.
It's awesome. It fuels you.
It absolutely does. But it goes back to gratitude. Like I could look at that trip and be like, man, I got to spend in the next 48 hours, I got to spend 18 of those in a car. I got to go and I got to work. I'm not going to get to sleep. I'm probably going to eat some unhealthy food. And, I could look at it totally like that and be like, this is a job.
Yeah.
But like, no, bro, like you chose to be here. I was talking to a guy that works at a gym last week.
Yeah.
And he was totally just complaining about his hours.
Really?
I'm like, well, leave. What do you mean leave?
I can't
leave.
Yeah.
I'm here. I was like, I got to work these hours. I'm like, why do you have to work these hours? Because I'm on the schedule. I'm like, no. I'm like, just leave then.
Go to a different job.
Yeah. If you don't want to be here, leave. Like,
or should.
that's my whole point. I'm like, bro, like you have to realize you're making a conscious decision to be here.
Yeah. Find a way to like it or change it. Yeah.
I mean, what was it? Was it Teddy Roosevelt that said complaining without proposing a solution is called whining?
I love that.
I do too.
That's super cool.
And I tell people all the time, like, don't you dare come to me complaining about something.
That's really funny.
Unless you're ready for a solution.
That's good.
Because I'm not going to listen to it. Like, if you just want to whine to me, like, that's not cool.
When I was growing up, my brother actually, he'll dig this. When I would say stuff, I'd complain about stuff. And he would always just mock me and go, let's whine about it. Just like that, nonstop. And eventually I never would do it again. So like that was something that helped me a lot. So, yeah, I can see that. It's
and then like getting back to a place of like self-gratitude and part of the growth journey is you're full of gratitude for how far you've come. And like when I used to look back at who I used to be, the fat kid, the depressed kid, it used to like cause a negative reaction inside of me. But now I'm totally in a state of gratitude about how I grew up.
When you think about it.
When I think about it now. Because it's given me the ability to do everything I've done now. Yeah. I wouldn't have read all the books I've read. I wouldn't have watched all the lectures and done like this deep dive into personal growth and the ability to help people unless I would have gone through that.
Yeah.
And I think that so many times we look at the negative past stuff and just let it define us to be negative. When now I look at challenges and I look at obstacles in my way like, okay, it's an opportunity for me to grow. Like, oh, this is going to be hard and I don't know how I'm going to do it. And I'm going to say yes here when I really probably shouldn't say yes to something.
Let's go.
But this is going to do nothing but make me a better person.
Yeah. It's going to make me really uncomfortable for a few weeks or whatever it is.
But instead of looking at it as an obligation, like I have to do this, now I'm looking at it as an opportunity to become a better person.
Yeah. I wonder why people don't think that way. Like I know I could see part of it, but like I wonder why. Like it seems natural in my mind to do that. I listened to nothing but books and like motivational stuff in high school for probably like 4 years. Like I genuinely
I wish I had done it in high school.
I was okay with like blocking everyone out and I could put him in, and I was just the guy who ate food and trained. I was like, so I feel like that was probably a big part of it. But I wish that was like the way people thought, which is
what started you doing that, by the way?
Working out?
Well, no, listening to personal growth.
You know what started was I was working out and I followed Kai Green.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So he was...
Because you're not old enough to remember Greg Plitt.
Greg. I know Greg Plitt a little bit, but like in it, honestly...
He was the OG of like personal growth and working out.
Yeah. So I knew him a little bit, but I was more attracted to Kai Green than him. So
I can see that actually.
yeah, but it's like he was like super autistic. I love to draw, so he would draw things, and but anyways, he would always talk about these things. And I remember watching a it was a documentary that he did. Man, I can't remember it, but it was when he was preparing for the Olympia.
Generation Iron.
No, it wasn't like super like high budget either. It was like it was him and Oscar, which is his old coach.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're preparing, and they're sitting in Las Vegas, and like literally, he's like sitting in the room journaling, listening to this tape, and he has Kai Green actually has this video, and if you listen to this video, you would have listened to my like entire high school experience. It's called Mind is Everything. And what he says, he starts off the video, says, I think thinking is an action. It's not just something that happens outside the body. It's something you do. It's something that is not just on a separate plane. It's something that begins to shape and to mold your life. You know, the champions is one thing he says that you celebrate are an example of the people that have left the plane of average thinking and began to dream. And if you begin to continue to dream and create that, then it might even become a commercial for the future. And then you begin to back it with action. Then 1 day and 2 days and 3 days and 4 days. And then you got 6 days. And then it's a month. And then now 6 months. And in 6 months, now you're able to see the manifestations of my heart because my thinking center is aligned with my goal. And like I literally, no shit, I literally wrote the lines to that on the front of my binder in high school. Like, and I would listen to it all the time. I would plug it in, walk, eat my food, train, and listen to it. And it was like, you know, then there's suggested videos. And so then it was just like, I had all these videos that just...
The rabbit hole.
Yeah, I just always listen to them. And I, like, you know, as funny as it is, and like, I don't really do it as much now, but like as much like excitement stuff. But it's like, I think that was... If there's something I encourage a lot of my my clients to do is like listen to that stuff because it like teaches you to be like resourceful. And when you read books, like I started reading books in 10th grade.
Wow.
I started to read books in 10th grade. My goodness, what an idea. You know, skimmed past summer reading, but then I read a book and it was called Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Oh yeah.
Right?
That was one of the first books I chose to read.
So I read it with my dad on a trip to like North Carolina. We were driving, right? Listening to audiobook. And it was the first book I ever listened to that I was like, hold on. Like, go back.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he was like, if you take yourself and you change yourself from a sole proprietorship to corporation, here's the differences.
Yeah.
And I went to the gym the next week, and I asked one of the guys that I know was a CPA. I said, can I take you to lunch? And he said, yes. So I asked him if you go to lunch with me. He went to lunch with me. I spent $8 on a panini. And then he gave me advice to go from a sole proprietorship to an LLC, create a corporation, hire myself, and I saved $20,000 in taxes that year. And it was like, these books have, like, no one was going to tell me that. Like, I was mad. I was like, no one's going to tell me that. And I had to find that myself. And so then I started reading these books. And I think that the good part about that is, like, although what got me started was just seeing this dude with muscles talk about philosophy. Yeah. Listen to that stuff. This morning, I had a meeting. I sleep at the gym a lot. It's just a long hour sometimes. Right. So I'd sleep on the couch at the gym, and I woke up, and I just saw a text in my morning trainer and said, hey, guys, nudge me at 4:50. And then I had a meeting at 5 o'clock with the lady, and it was like, where are we at? She's doing awesome with progress, and we talked about, like, her main takeaway for the next month, so we check on every single month, was to look at her friend group, because, like, she has great friends. But she's like, honestly, one thing I'm realizing is, like my friends are super lazy, and I really want to make this a part of my life. Yeah. So I was like, look, I have 2 great, wonderful best friends that I have in my life, and they're awesome. But they are where I am supported. They're not really where I draw most of my motivation from. Right. How do you say motivated? You know why? Because I've read Elon Musk's book 5 times, and, like, you have no clue what stress is. Yeah. Like, I think that I'm stressed because I've got people and schedule changes and and it's like I don't have $90 million that I've put into different, you know, businesses and they're failing, and I've got 2 marriages. Like, when you read stuff like that, and, like, they literally coded for 18 hours a day in a 50 square foot office building in Palo Alto, California for like 6 months straight, 18 hours. They had, instead of getting an apartment, they had bean bags and a computer, and they would literally just switch out. They ate 4 meals a day and Jack in the Box. And like, when you look at that, that is the standard in your mind. So a 20-hour day is like a normal.
You know who Andy Frisella is? First Form? Yeah. You ever heard his story?
Sleeping on the couch and...
Well, so he opened his nutrition shop, and literally for the first 10 years, he never paid himself more than like $750 a month. 10 years he went through that grind.
That's 70 grand over a decade.
It's crazy. He's like, I have employees I'm paying, 10 times that. Like I have employees I'm paying really well, but I'm paying myself $750 a month or whatever it was. And he said, I did that for 10 years before I started making money.
So you want to be motivated? Like you want to keep inspiration, keep motivation? Like listen to people like that. Because if you do, then you're like, what you compare how life should be and how hard something should be is not to the people that are around you. It's like, hey, how you feeling today, Tom? Oh, just tired. Why? What's up? Long day at work.
I ate like crap.
Yeah. Long day at work, ate like crap. And it's like, you spent 8 hours at work. You slept for 8. Where's the rest at? What else you do? But then you, like, when you get tired, what do you think about? Well, I think about my friends, what they do, Well, if your friends stop at, the first, no, this ain't gonna work, stop when they can't figure it out the first time, then you're gonna stop when they figure it out the first time. So if you have in your mind, whether it's through books, whether you latch onto someone like Elon Musk or Richard Branson or something and begin to model your life after them, or it's someone you're privileged to have a relationship with in person, then you're like, you are gonna live the standard that you think you should live. So 100%. If your standard is sucky, you're gonna like have really bad effort. But if you're around people that are getting after it, working hard, being resourceful, it's not even effort at that point. You're naturally going to be thinking more resourceful.
Yeah, I mean, our mind is basically like a computer program. I mean, you put crap in, crap's going to come out.
Yep.
You put good information in, good information is going to come out. And that old saying, you've heard it a million times, you are the product of the people you hang around with, is 100% true. And for me, I went through a period of my life where I literally would say my best friends are podcasts.
That sounds about right.
That's who I'm spending the most time with, like Lewis Howes and Tom Bilyeu and Gary Vaynerchuk, like people like that. Like those are my best friends right now because that's who I'm hanging out with.
Yeah.
And I needed that in my life because
that's who models you and shapes you, right?
Yeah. Right. I needed to think on that plane. I needed to think on that level. And by doing that, like my whole perspective changed.
Yeah. Which, by the way, is super cool that you live in a time that you can actually, in a sense, customize your. So I want to be like super tech oriented, and I also want to be super, super like ability to work very hard. All right, so I'm going to follow The Rock and Elon Musk, and I'm going to watch their vlogs for a month, and then like you'll now, I work a little harder now. Find people that do what you do, that want to you do what you want to do. I want to run a clothing brand. Okay, cool. Go follow the Gymshark CEO.
Yeah,
and watch what that dude at 24.
Randall Rich.
Yeah,
is another good one.
Watch what they're doing at 24 years old. Yeah. And go follow them for a year and realize, oh man, dude, you ever watch this, the Gymshark CEO, Ben France? I don't know his last name.
I think I've watched him.
Dude, it's so cool. Cool story of like him starting from like literally like hand sewing these shirts together and like doing the designs himself, screen printing it, and like building it up over like 5-6 years of the UK's largest growing company. And so cool. But you watch those people and you go like, hey, those are people of resource. And then they become the people you reference. They're your best friends. They're the people that you think about. You have your real life best friends, but the people you think about when you think, what should I do in this situation?
Right, 100%.
WWJD or WW Elon Musk, D.
EMD. Yeah, because like, one of the stories that I've watched and, I'm a few years older than him, but like Christian Guzman.
Yeah.
Started out in that little bitty gym that he rented by saving up money from personal training.
Yeah.
So like just watching that evolution of his business, and I've like literally followed him since day one.
I remember his old physique videos on YouTube.
That's what I'm saying.
Those are the first ones I saw like maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah. And
then I lost him. Then I saw him like pop up on my newsfeed one day. I was like, holy heck, this is the Christian Guzman? Yeah. What the heck is this dude?
Yeah. But just like watching the progression to go from online coaching to small gym owner to clothing brand. And then the progression of it excelling.
World domination.
Yeah, literally. You've got one of the hottest clothing brands in the world right now.
Yeah.
His gym in Houston is absolutely amazing. One of my favorite gyms I've ever been to in my life. Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, bro. And I got to meet a couple of the guys. Like, it was unbelievable.
That's awesome.
But, like, you see how hard this dude works.
That is inspirational.
It is. And you see, like, the thing I love about, like, stories like him is he lives by something Gary Vaynerchuk always talks about, like, legacy over currency.
It's good.
He does what's right. And he always like tries to morally and ethically put that foot forward, and then everything else will take care of itself.
Yep. And if you don't watch people like that, then you don't understand the struggles that they went through to get there, and you don't see that you can be, ethical and moral and be successful. And, you know, you have this disillusionment of what it means to be successful or what it means to be rich or what it means to do, you know, I got to cut corners or something because that's what you thought or because your parents told you. And you got to find people that represent what you want to be and model your behavior after them.
Oh, yeah. So we could keep going down this rabbit hole for probably a couple more hours. Let's get into some actionable stuff that we can help people with.
Roger that.
So when it comes to your business and what you're doing, what is your opinion biggest thing that holds people back from achieving that next level in their life?
I'm trying to give a better answer than the mind. Say, well, the mind. I think it is. I think it's your thought process of what you think is possible for yourself.
So it's like self-limiting beliefs.
I think you think that you can't do it because X, 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 you know? And until you begin to change that, you'll never make it.
Right.
Like, I really do believe that. And I hate giving cliche answers, but I will say we've grown a great company, helped thousands of people, and it's been based on that. So I'm not just saying because I read a book. I've said it because I've been able to help and impact a lot of people doing it. And that's the same advice I give people every single day is at the end of the day, if you want to move it forward to the next level, whatever your life wants to do, you've got to stop and go, why I have not been able to achieve this yet is because I think that people who achieve that are just lucky, or I look at them negatively, or I think that I have to do this, this, and this to get there, and I'm not willing to. Those kind of things. And to add to that, some more practicality would be you think it's going to happen a lot quicker than it's actually going to happen.
Patience.
Yes. You think that it's going to happen this year, and it most likely will not. And if for 10 freaking years, you know? So I think that I love what Gary Vaynerchuk talks about macro impatience, micro speed. I love that.
Right, I do too. I was just about to say that.
Get up every morning like, I'm going to rip today open, work as hard as I can, but know quietly in the back of your mind, nothing's really going to happen this year.
All I can do is win the day.
Yeah, I'm going to kill it today ferociously.
Right.
But like, I won't check the scoreboard for maybe 3, 4, 5 more months. You know, so I think that is also because I talk to people on the daily on their first workouts. I still do a lot of the intro workouts. I've done almost 4,000 or so, or probably not 4,000, probably half of those, 2,000 or so first workouts with people. Like, welcome to the gym, day one, let's do this thing. And it's like, yeah, I've lost weight before. And I'm like, what happened? You know? Well, like I got 20 pounds and it just stopped working. And I'm like, what do you mean it stopped working? I'm like, yeah, well, like
it stopped working or you stopped working?
Yeah, right. Well, like I got, I lost 5 or so pounds a month for a few months, and at month 6, it stopped. And like after 3 months, it just stopped working. And I'm like, that's okay. Like, sure. And like, that's all right. But like, what's the goal? The goal may be healthy. Like maybe just keep going for like 2 more years.
Right.
And then you'll be all right.
Oh, bro, that year thing scares people.
Yeah, it does. But you know what? And here's the thing. I'll flip it around. Older folks, this is like...
He's talking to me. Go ahead.
Yeah, you. Listen here, bro. No, like, you know more than me how fast time goes.
Right.
I'm 21. A year still is like a long time to me. You know? Like, it was kind of a long time when Thanksgiving hit last year. You know, I'm getting faster every year. You know,
it speeds up, yeah.
It kind of goes. So, like, if anyone should be okay with a 2-3 year contract for personal training, it's 45-year-olds.
Oh, 100%.
Because they know they're 42 literally like Tuesday.
Yeah. So the thing I always have to tell my clients is, hey, bro, it's going to take just as long to walk out of the woods as it took to walk in. Yeah. And I had like last night, the reason I ate dinner so late last night, I was on the phone with one of my guys I'm coaching right now. And I'm like, bro, how old are you? 37. I'm like, okay. It took you 37 years to program your brain to think this way.
If it takes 3 years to change it, that's okay.
That's okay. It's not gonna like we've like made some serious progress in 30 days. Like I've only been working with him 30 days.
Yeah.
We've made serious progress in 30 days. I'm like, do you realize how far you've come in 30 days? Like I know you're not where you want to be and you're still having hard times, but bro, look how far you've come in 30 days and it took you 37 years to get here.
Yeah.
Imagine where we'll be in 37 months.
Yeah.
Like 3 years of deep hard work, you can make leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
But getting out of that immediate gratification, which is what everybody wants. I'm sure you get that too.
Yeah. Well, that's why we started our vlog at the gym. We just started doing YouTube the vlogs every day. Mm-hmm. And it was like I'm really inspired by the work that Gary Vee's done and making people who are wanting to grow businesses focus on longer term. Because like, even me, like, I started the job as a janitor at 15. At 16, I was like doing personal training for a lot of people. 17, 18, I graduated at 18. I worked for over 1,000 people with personal training, you know, so it picked up speed. Well, that's like, oh, that's great. Well, it's also a curse because you have this comparison. Like, look how fast I'm growing. I should continue to go this fast. And it's like, I'm at year 6 now of doing personal training, and year 2 of running a business with employees and buildings. And it's like, you can go, this month was not better than last month. This is not going to work. You can get caught into that.
Yeah, you can.
Now, I'll say we work really hard, and we continue to push it, and we work our tails off, and we strategize. So we do improve month to month and quarter to quarter. Yearly, we do increasingly well, but it's like weekly, daily, tons of setbacks, and there are some months that like are tremendously bad. But it's really inspiring to have people like Gary Vee that talk about, hey, just remember that I did this for 10 years and wine library, boxing up, you know, whatever wine names are, and, you know, doing everything I could. And then now this thing has worked. It's done well. Like, I think it hit me right when I needed it. At probably year 5, year 6, where like I'm actually now having to create a better business, like policies and procedures and protocols and hiring and staffing and stuff like that. And it's like, man, now we're facing a lot of downturn. We're having to work on pulling up, and I'm having to change. I'm having to work on myself in the meantime to be a better,
because your role's evolving,
boss. Yeah, to be a better boss of people. I was absolutely uncomfortable, and I could talk about that. The worst thing I ever had to do was learn how to sell personal training. Yeah, because I had this guilt complex about it until I worked for a guy that had a terrible quality of life, 2 herniated discs, 260 pounds, 55-year-old guy looked at me and said, Braxton, I want to do a pull-up and lose 50 pounds. And I'm like, Mike, I want to win the lottery. Like, we all have dreams, bro, not happening. And we worked there for a year. He lost 60 pounds. I could do 3 full-body pull-ups. His wife joined. She lose 80 pounds. They give me $7,000 over the course of a year, and they would have given me 20. Like, they would do anything to do it again, you know? And they've still, 5 years later, still healthy. And like that experience for me was like, oh my God. I remember flying back from visiting my uncle in Minneapolis and going, people should have their lights go off in their house before they say no to me, personal training. That's why I'm an incredible like salesperson with like, because I am a Army general leader when it comes to that. I can't sell ice to an Eskimo. Like, I'm not a good salesperson, but I can get you to realize that you can actually do this thing, and it's going to cost you a lot more than you thought. It's going to take more time than you thought. It's going to be more harder than you thought. But if you actually can buckle down and make this happen, we can do this, you know? But that's what that was the thing is we're developing. So as now we're looking into the future, I want to do the same thing that, you know, Gary Vaynerchuk has done for people like myself in entrepreneurship. And because fitness is great. Fitness is not like my call. Like, I love fitness, but it's not like my calling. My bench press is not my calling. Strategy.
It's your vehicle. Yeah,
it's my vehicle. Strategy, helping people feel good, help people understand life, eliminate negative thinking patterns, stuff like that, running a company, giving jobs, stuff. I love doing that. And I would love to do the same thing for that area of things, for the personal development side that he's done through business, and say, hey, bro, and we have it written at the gym now on the wall in the office where people go in for the first day. It's going to take 5 years. Like, this is going to be a really long time. And I'm such a demotivator when they come in. And I'm like, you ready to rock and roll? All right. It's going to be 10 years, you know, like, all right, like it's going to be 5 years of you working really hard at the minimum, you know, it'll be maybe 2 years. We have everyone sign year-long contracts for training. So you're going to be here for a year anyways. And most people renew up. Yeah. So it's like, dude, just give it 36 months, quit being so impatient, go on a couple dates, you know, go like have some lunches with people, and then like look up and it's been 3 Thanksgivings, right? And you're like in great shape. I want it. Like, I love the idea of making people really bored with their, making people really bored with it. Because if I can make it really
makes sense,
like exciting, yes. Every day, like pumped about a PR, yes. But I think that really, and I can't wait to get older. And maybe I'll look back at this video and go, that dude's the man. Like, he knew where he was headed. But I can't wait, because it's like, I think that the PRs and daily stuff is great, but I think ultimately for long-term people like Mike Arrington that changed his life and have kept it for 5 years off, and I've done it for a few people now, is getting unfascinated with the result of it. Like, whether you make money or you don't, whether you have a lot of listeners or you don't, whether you have a lot of viewers or you don't, or you have a lot of employees or clients or you don't. You just love doing the thing.
Fall in love with the journey, not the outcome.
Yeah, it just becomes who you are. Like, who are you? I just train people. I do training with people.
Yeah.
You know, or I go to the gym. If you can just go to the gym and be a person who goes to the gym, like eventually, like life will catch up with you.
Yeah.
If you can't lose the gut now, like if you just go to the gym and you're a person who goes to the gym, like give it 5 years, you're all right. You're going to be good. Just get almost bored with it and be super cool with working really hard and not really checking the scoreboard and stuff for maybe every quarter or so. That's a great practical tip too.
For me, like when you say get bored, like that to me just means just make it a habit.
Just
where you're not even thinking about it. Like
just,
guys like me and you, if we don't work out, like then that's a problem.
Yeah.
Like it's just so ingrained into who we are. Like we get in almost like a low energy depressive state
When you don't.
if we're not.
Yeah,
Because my biggest problem now when it comes to lifting, and now, okay, if I come to you and say, okay, Braxton, I've got all these injuries, 6 knee surgeries, chunk of bone missing out of my shoulder, like I'm going to physical therapy, but it's of course a slow process. I'm really having a hard time right now, like finding the next level of motivation in the gym. Like I go to the gym, but I feel like I'm going through the motions. What would you say?
I would be like, why are you going to the gym? What are you here for?
Yeah.
What are you here for? That's what I ask.
So I'm here because like I work out for my health. I work out so I can, have more function in life. And if I work out more so like now because I haven't really thought about it. I've just been kind of like in this routine of working out lately. I work out more so now because like if I don't, my body starts hurting worse.
Yeah.
So I work out for my health, really, at the end of the day. That's what I work out for. But like I keep having this competing belief that I want to do something more. But every time I try to push myself, my body starts hurting, and it's like my body tells me, "Hey, bro, no, stop."
Yeah.
And I like it almost like the reason I finally decided to go to physical therapy was because it started like really causing me some low energy. I would try to push my body, and my body would say no, and like I would literally
be frustrated at it.
Oh, I get so frustrated because my body would start hurting, and then I would, of course, have a setback because of that, because like I was mentally beaten down, and then I would get back in the gym, I'd push myself, and
that's a problem. It's like it's being too impatient.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to have. That's when it's like, what are you there for? I'm there to like be really energetic, or I'm there to have good muscles or whatever. Okay, there's 9,000 exercises you could do with the human body. There's 6,500 you could do when you've had a bad knee and bad shoulder. And like do what you can with where you are and keep moving forward. And like don't judge yourself if you have to stop.
Right.
Oh, I can't I can't do 225. I can always do 225. Bro, it's good. Like just rack it and just like go do something else and then rehab the shoulder. The fact, and this is a really stupid analogy, the fact that NASCAR actually has to, I am amazed. They go, 200 miles an hour, and they actually have to stop completely every so often in the race. I remember the first time I ever saw that happen. I was like, what is he doing? You got to get back. And you're like frantically like yelling in a car, like get back. And like I wasn't raised in overalls watching NASCAR, but I remember the first time I saw it, and I was like, dude, it's crazy. Exact same thing. Hey, dude, what do I do? Like my shoulder hurts. Well, don't do that. Well, like I'm trying to get super jacked. Like I saw Steve Cook yesterday on Instagram, and I want to look like him by Thursday. I got a date. And it's like, sorry, bro, give it 5 years. Right. If you think long term, you're really a lot more okay with things going wrong.
Yeah, you are.
Because you're like, it's all right. I don't have any rush.
Yeah.
Like I'm really resourceful, and I'll figure this thing out. But it's not like I don't need to. Like you're saying, I haven't used that term before. I don't need external validation that I'm good enough. But people need to bench 225 today to feel good enough.
They do.
And if I can't get it, then wait. Goes back
I'm
to
not a man.
Yeah. What happened?
Yeah. So that's the whole reason why I went to physical therapy, because I got out of that short-term thinking and I got back to, okay, what's your overall goal here, Robby? Like what's your goal? So my goal honestly is I want to live to be like 150. Like I want to live a really long quality of life.
That's cool.
Not just number of years, but I want to live a really long quality life. And in order for me to live a really long quality life, I have to be able to function in life, and part of function is not just mental, it's physical. Yeah. Like pick up things, sit down and get up out of a chair. Like I want to be 100 years old and still be able to do all those things. Yeah. But with like the current state of my body, unless I go get bionic everything, it's falling apart. I can understand that. It's part of like my past. So I'm like, okay, Robby, like slow down what you're doing. Let's get back into more just functional movements and get into rehab and start gaining some mobility back, gaining some functional range of motion back. So I'm like, okay, stop, like take your foot off the accelerator a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's slow down.
Take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself.
You know Calvin Von Moger?
Oh, yeah.
That guy. Have you followed what's going on with him this past year and a half?
Oh, bro, he's torn everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good example. I a lot of times for clients, I'll try to ask them to follow, even if they're not like a super athletic person, go follow like powerlifters, because like they're like the most likely to tear stuff.
Oh,
and
they
they'll
are.
tear stuff, right? So like they'll tear a pec, and like you're bummed out about your shoulder, right, or your knee or whatever, and like while you're sitting on the toilet scrolling on Instagram over the months, like they're back in the gym and they're putting 135 on the bar for a deadlift, and then it seems like it's like that, and then it's been 6 months and now it's 215, and then now they're back. And then it's like first time lifting my previous PR, and it's been a year and a half. But for you, you're still stuck on the same thing of I got a bad knee, and it's like, dude, if you just rehab it, if you take care of it, if you'd roll your legs out, after you roll your IT band, stretch a little bit, put some knee sleeves on, pay attention to, and not saying it's a simple fix for what you have going on. I know for me, it's like just do the things you know you should do.
Right. Be
really patient with yourself. If you put This is a good philosophy that helped me. If you put 5 more pounds on your squat and start from 135, if you do that every single week, it's like 350 for 10.
Right.
If you start it at 135 for 10 and you do that every week, at some point that's like absolutely crazy.
That's like Matt Douglas uses the micro weights.
I didn't know that.
So he'll use the micro weights to have that slow, steady increase in weight over time.
That's super cool.
Where he's adding like a pound a week.
Yeah.
A 2-pound plate.
Exactly.
And
you go from whatever your squat is to 50 plus pounds, or bench press from 225 to 275 in a year. That's great.
Right.
Do it again next year.
Yeah, and he was doing it all with micro plates. And it was like, of course, no gyms has micro plates. They don't have 1-pound plates.
Did he make them and sell them?
No, he bought them off Amazon.
I was going to say that'd be really cool because he was like the plug. Then he's like, swipe up. Swipe up. You want micro plates? Swipe up.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure he has an Amazon affiliate account.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you do to get people, because I think this is the most common question that I ask people, because I think this is one of the biggest sticking points. So a ton of people come to you with initial motivation. Hey, B, I need to get healthy, man. Like, help me get where I need to go. Like, here's my goal. Here's what I want to get to. And they come to you full of charged up emotion, charged up energy.
Yeah.
What do you do when a month in? I know, good, right?
That's good.
It's like pixie sticks, but healthy.
I know. I'm like it's pixie stick, yeah.
My boy's eating straight pixie stick. We do that all the time.
Love it.
Some good old Axio. But what do you do to get people to further the process? Like, what do you do to get them past the initial motivation to turn it into a lifestyle?
Ooh, that's sour. We have a thing that we call, it's ARSES, is what we refer to in the gym as acronym. ARSES. And we use every single month. You say, hey man, I'm trying to lose 50 pounds, and here's what I'm trying to do, and I've never been able to get control of my weight, whatever. First step, demotivate you.
Hey, this is gonna suck.
Yeah, you want to learn this, right? This is a system. First step, when you get in there day one, demotivate the heck out of people. Tell them it's going to take a lot longer than you thought it was. Welcome to it.
Right. I literally told one of my clients, I was like, bro, this is going to suck. It's probably going to be the hardest thing you've ever done in your life.
Yeah.
But you're going to be thankful at the end.
Yeah. And it'll be a long time. So if you try to do it overnight, then go do that and call me tomorrow when it didn't work.
Right.
But then after that, every single month we have a sit down. And it's like we are essentially like, the ARSES is ask how things going. And then, that's good, or, I'm killing it. Or like, oh, I don't know, I'm just having a hard time.
Frustrated.
Oh yeah, this is rough. Then you're reminding, what are we here for? What's the point of this? Like, let's let's resell you on the idea that like you can actually do this. Let's resell you on what was motivate you in the first place. Like, why did you show up here day one? Like, what was the point? Yeah. Once you kind of team lead that person to like, all right, yeah, you know what, you got it. Then it's like search for that person, what you can help them out with. Like, what? Okay, so what's hard? Yeah. What's the solution? Man, for me, it's just food. And then you're equipping them with new things and then setting a new metric. So the next 30 days, you can say, okay, now we want to go from 3 meals to 4 meals a day to make sure we're having good feedings or eating breakfast or something like that. But it's like, I genuinely think that a good start is the most important part. Having someone on day one saying, look, I'm going to go ahead and let you know, this is not going to be really exciting. And this is actually going to just take a lot longer than you thought. And if you're okay with that, and that's like, yeah, sales used to be this really hyped up, high energy thing for me, and it still is. But it's like much more effective for people's success in the gym if it starts off from okay, now that we're sitting here together, I want you to realize something. Like, you probably will not get where you want to get in the next 2 years, and it's like, I swear to you, every
dream killer.
Yeah, every time they're like, I had someone literally lean over to me one time and said, you suck at selling personal training, right? And I was like, yeah, but
actually I'm not. I'm actually pretty good at this.
Actually, like, this is how I make a living, and actually, like, I'm the best there is. So, like, you're lucky to be here.
Thank you.
Yeah. So then it's like once they are like, okay, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And then you're like, I'm telling you this: 96% of people, 96, who lose weight gain it back, and 85% gain back more than they lost within the first year.
Crazy.
So you're not no different than anyone else.
Right.
The only difference is you have someone in front of you who's done this thing thousands of times, and I'm telling you, it ain't gonna happen overnight. And if you can take the red pill of just committing to the fact that your goal is 5 years from now to be really, really in good shape, do 2 things for me, because you can achieve a lot. I've helped someone lose 100 pounds in 17 weeks. I've help people lose weight fast.
Yeah.
And I'm not against getting in shape fast. What I'm against is, for instance, that particular gentleman gained it all back in a year.
Mm-hmm.
There's no point in that. Okay, let's go back to the drawing board. Okay, how do we start off better? So it's like I have 2 things I think about. What's your goal in 5 years? Think of, that's even cool. It allows you to dream. You're like, well, at that point, I want 315 for 10 on bench. Or at that point, I want to be able to like run a mile in like 7 minutes or whatever it is. You can dream. And then, I love this. This is morbid. But if your best friends were taken from you and they were going to be killed, in 30 days, right? If you didn't reach your goal of losing 20 pounds, or let's lengthen a little bit for an average goal, 50 pounds. If you had 6 months to lose 50 pounds or your best friends would die, what would you be doing today? Yeah. It's like, I'd be in the gym. Great. I need to have that sense of urgency every day to do the dang thing. But again, no.
Patience in the macro.
Patience. Yeah. Just know it's going to take a long time. Yeah. And if you make it but the funny thing is I don't know, it's kind of a funny thing. It's just like behind the fourth wall, like what I think about. But like, it's kind of a weird shindig, because you can totally do a lot of, especially with weight loss and getting in shape, you can totally do a lot in a year.
Oh yeah.
But like for me, I could probably get any person I work for, I could probably do their 1 year goal in like maybe 100 days, right?
Oh yeah.
Probably get there.
Yeah, I could do that with my clients too,
but it's here, right? And the cool thing is sometimes people sit down and they go, oh, it's fine. And those are the people that like smash it out of the park.
Yeah.
Because when they have a bad day eating, it's just whatever.
Right.
Hey, I had a donut. It was pretty good. And they go about their life instead of going, oh, I knew I couldn't eat healthy. I knew I was going to be fat forever. I knew it. And then, I'm eating more because I'm feeling sad. It's like binging on porn after you watch porn once.
Yeah.
You're like, this is the worst thing I've ever done.
Right.
Now I'm going to do it again.
Go down the spiral.
Hands inside the wheel at all times, please.
Yeah, I mean, like I was telling one of my guys, I'm like, hey, bro, like, do you realize how long of a journey you have ahead of you? Like, this is not, like, there's nothing we can do. Like, hey, look, I can have you down your goal weight of 150 pounds less. We can easily do that in a year.
Yeah.
I guarantee you I could get you there in a year if you did everything I told you to do.
But who cares?
But at the end of the day,
if it don't last,
we're not solving anything.
Yeah.
I said the reason right now why all I have you doing is just eating whole foods and working out, and like that's all we're concentrating on the physical side. But we're spending 2 to 3 hours a week working on the mental side. The reason for that is because that's the only way to actually have a permanent change.
And what are you here for? It would be way too much money for you to pay me $4,000 this year and you not be sexy and in shape and confident 5 years from now.
Like, I used to like be under the mindset of like, hey, look, let's just get people results. Like, look, let's get them where they want to be because that's what creates raving fans. That's what creates testimonials, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, no. Like, let's do the deep work.
Yep.
Like, let's actually change this person's life, change their paradigm and how they view the world. So they're not having to put Band-Aids on their life. They're not having to look for quick fixes.
Yeah.
They're not having to seek external validation because now they're so freaking in love with themselves. They're going to stop giving everyone in their life a discount on who they are.
Yeah, that's good.
And they're going to live this beautiful, amazing life that's full of happiness.
Yeah, that's really good. One thing that we did at the gym for that was like one of our goals is in a year from now, we have like 50 to 75 people a month that'll, contact us about training. So one of our goals in the next year or two is to double that.
Right.
Have 100, 150 people a month that are messaging us, but not to mention weight ever. And like it's kind of like a audacious and it's somewhat kind of in like a arbitrary set goal that we kind of just grabbed, but it definitely has an association with our goal, which is our mission statement as a gym is to empower and encourage people through the development of healthy habits and change the way people are inspired to lose weight. That last part, that tagline,
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that last tagline was like a recent addition in the last probably 3 months or so, as you started putting a lot more attention towards, okay, we need to encourage people in the long term and stuff like that. But that's like a hard thing to do, especially on Facebook and stuff. It's like, let's just show people, and we'll share someone that lost weight, because I think there's also part of it's like you got to show people that things working.
Yeah.
Because like I also like I would like, I don't know, I'll slash somebody's tires so that personal trainer is not at the gym when you're supposed to be in for the first workout, and I'll get your phone number and I'll call you to make sure you're in my gym, because I genuinely think, unless I have good friends, I've got good friends, Andrew Vickers, and I've got people that I know in the gym, Tyler Teed, that kick people's butts and do good. Mm-hmm. But anyone else, I'm like, I'm like, because I get defensive.
I do too.
I get pissed. I'm like, what frustrates the hell out of me, man, is the fact that somebody will say like, hey, come do this. It's going to get you, like, you got 8 weeks or 4 weeks or 12 weeks, and we're going to get you, and we're going to give away this thing. And I'm like, listen here, dude, I will pay you the amount of money you would have made by doing that. I'll give you $5,000 and shut up. I swear to you, like, seriously, I would do that. I would give you $5,000 and shut the hell up and don't post that, because there are so many. I work my ass off every freaking day to encourage people in that boat to think long term and to know that this shit doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
And you're effing this thing up. So stop.
Because you're not looking for superficial change.
No,
you're looking for actual deep change, to change someone's life, not just fix a Band-Aid, fix an aesthetic that they're looking for.
And you know where this changed for me was, and like, it's incredible. I had a lady that I worked for. She wanted to lose 100 pounds. Mm-hmm. And this is so right. And people will not agree to this, and that's okay until they go through it, and that's all right with me. What you think about your body has nothing to do with what your body looks like at all. What you think about it. I have people that I work for that are 550 pounds, people that work for that are 600 plus pounds. I have people that work for that are 100 pounds. I have people that I work for that are 400 pounds and love themselves, and I have people that work for that are skinny as a rail and have a nice butt and hate themselves. Mm-hmm. So, word up, all right? But second, I had a lady that I work for, and she wanted to lose 100 pounds. She was at 95, bawling in my office, just crying, because she was still she had this panic about her. Like, what if I gain it back? And like, I still don't feel beautiful. And I thought, her words, I thought if I lost this weight, I would feel good about myself. I'm like, two separate things, dude. The way you feel about yourself is its own thing. And then your body's one thing. You feeling successful is one thing, and then you achieving things. I have friends that are millionaires that are miserable, right. And I have people that I've coached to lose 100 pounds that get there and still feel ugly. So you're good, man. Yeah. That is also where you go, that's why I want those people. That is the reason I want those people. I've been training people for free, and I do it like I offered a good example. I had a lady that I talked to the other day, and it's so obvious that you don't believe in the fact you can do this thing, Right. And it's scheduled and it's time and whatever. And I was like, I think her reasoning was, it was like too much money, which it's always means. Mm-hmm. I just don't think it's going to work.
Price is only an issue in absence of value.
That's exactly right. I'll take that. That's not going to work. So I said, I'll give you $1,000. I'll train you for free. In 6 months, I'll help you reach this goal and this goal, and I'll give you $1,000 if you do it. You can ask our videographer who's been with this for a month now. I think I've offered that probably 3 people.
Really?
Yeah. I literally had someone that I said, I'll give you $2,000 and if a year from now you can follow this, this, and this. But by the way, it's rarely taken. I have a full video,
which is crazy,
of a conversation with someone about this, where I literally offered, and her daughter was there. I said, I'll give her money too. I'll give her $1,200 and you $1,200. In 9 months, achieve this goal, 50 pounds down, and your money it's all yours. If it's about the money. Because I told her, it's not about the money. It's not the fact you can't afford it. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Fine. I'll make this easy. I'll pay you to do it. I'll give you $2,500 and I'll give you a checkpoint. Get halfway there in 6 months and I'll give you the half. Right? And it was still like, I swear to God, this is a conversation I just had 2 weeks ago. And I said, what time tomorrow? That's what I asked her. Mm-hmm. And she goes, well, I can't do tomorrow. I was like, why? She's like, I've got this, this, this. I sat there and looked at her. She's like, what's that look for? I was like, we're going to do this tomorrow or we're not doing it. Right? And so then I was like, all right, fine. What time next week? She's like, I'll have to look at it. I have to look at it. I was like, I want you just to at least agree to me to know that when you're ready, because she got defensive. She's like, and I never, ever, ever, I am a very excited person. I get excited.
Yeah.
I never, ever want to truck on people and say, no, I'm right. I don't want to do that. I want to empower you and encourage you. I want you to realize that I can do this shit. Like, I want you to actually be like, you know what? I got this, and know that it ain't the time, it ain't the money. That's my goal. So
one of my favorite sayings is, don't concentrate on leading the horse to water. Concentrate instead on making the horse thirsty.
That's good. Yeah, that's actually really good. I like that a lot. That's the thing. And I can get overexcited about it too, and I can get aggressive. I can get very aggressive.
Oh yeah,
too. But it's like and that's why I'll do things like that.
You know why you do though? Because you want them to feel the way you do.
That's all about it. And by the way, I have a couple people actually now that I think about it that I've given. I think I had one lady that I did after she had worked for it for like a whole hour or so. She was like, I just can't do it. I was like, fine, we'll do it for free. She had 7 kids. And she's like, I got this. We've literally cut out everything. I just wanted to come and spend time with you so I could see if I can learn something as far as training and everything. And we literally were, she lost 50 pounds in 6 months, free. Not $1. Didn't make $1 from it. Not at all. I care less about it. And this is what I'm about.
Right.
I'm
right there with you. I understand.
I had a girl that called me the other day, and I got a text from my gym manager said, hey, so-and-so needs to change training from 3 days a week, maybe down to 1 or whatever. It's just cost and stuff. So that's fine. So I talked to her, and she was like, yeah, things are getting hard at my job, whatever. I was like, that's fine. Cool. I'll do whatever you want me to do. We still got to reach this goal, though. So, I need you in the gym still 4 days a week. So how about this? I don't know if you can do it, and I don't want you to waste your money giving me training sessions for once a week because then you quit in 3 months.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Instead of going from 3 days to 2 days a week, let's go, because I have you 3 days a week right now. Follow my math. 3 days a week right now, 1 day on your own. Mm-hmm. So if you're trying to drop down to 1, that's a lot of responsibility on your side. Let's go 2 days a week together, 2 days on your own. So you send me a text those 2 days with a picture of your sweaty face after workout that you're doing this. Let me know you're committed. And at that point, at the end of December, if you're doing that, if you send me 5 weeks worth of activity on your own twice a week, then I'll move you back up to three times a week, and I'll only charge you for 1. And she's freaking doing it. Oh, and I'm hype. And you know what? People look at that and they're like, you're only saying that because it's not going to work. I'm like, no, you don't freaking understand my drug. I swear to God, that'd be the best $2,000 ever spent.
It would be. People don't understand how good it freaking feels.
And you know what? The truth is, it's a great. I'm extremely blessed to be in a position that I've been able to have great people in my life that have helped me out to be able to deliver what I do better, be able to serve people better, to give me good feedback, and then now to be able to have a great business that makes profit that we can even use to put it out on the table and say,
right.
We don't have a bet every month with all of our earnings that say, hey, who's getting in this month?
Who can we go get free money to?
Yeah, but to be able to say, look, and use it as a point. Use it as a point to say, I'm going to give you $2,000. Where would you have to go? And you're like, because let's get off the money topic and let's get off the schedule topic and let's actually talk about the problem. Fine, I'll give you money. Now what's the difficulty? Mm-hmm. Fine, I'll pay for it. Now what's the problem? My schedule. Fine. We'll do whatever time you want to. I'll get up at 2 o'clock in the morning for you. I'll sleep on the couch and I'll meet you at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Now what's the problem? I just don't really think I can do this thing. Mm-hmm. Great. Tears drop. Now we start talking. Yeah. Now we really start figuring this thing out. And then you want to pay me anyways. Right. Because then you're like, all right, I'm actually going to do this. Let's rock and roll. That is the reason, viewers and listeners, that I get frustrated as all get out when people are like, hey, come join. Half off, 30 days, whatever. I sign a contract for people. It's a results refund or a contract. Follow what I'm saying. If you don't get these things we mapped out, X, Y, Z, in 1 year, I'll give you every dollar you pay me back. Just follow it.
Right.
It works. I've had to do it with one person. I had to refund one person's money.
Out of 4,000. Yeah. That's a pretty good.
It's a pretty good statistic.
Pretty good track record.
What's that, like 0.004?
I'm not going to do the math, but yeah, it's a really good track record. Mm-hmm. So, guys, I think you understand now why I love this dude so much.
Thanks, bro.
Like, I've literally been following his journey now for probably about a year and just kind of following, like, man, this dude's he's just rocking it. And he's in such a good place. And you're honestly, bro, like one of the most amazing 21-year-olds I've ever met.
Thanks, man.
And you're just like wise beyond your years.
That's so good.
But to see, like, you're that person, but you have this incredible drive to help people. Like, that's what it's about, man.
Thanks.
Like, you're in Mobile, and like, let's just, there's what, 7.5 billion people in the world.
Yeah.
You've changed 4,000 lives.
There's 380,000 in my bill.
Yeah. So like it's a drop in a bucket.
1%.
But you're out there every day changing lives.
Yeah.
And you're doing the best you can, and it's gonna do nothing but. I mean, you're freaking 21 years old, bro.
I just got legal. I can drink alcohol. I can go.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're
bars.
21 years old. Like, you're absolutely changing. Like, you're changing your world.
Yeah.
And it's like, I commend you for that, man. And like your passion to not just do it superficially, but to actually create real, lasting change. That's the good stuff, man.
Thanks, man. That's what makes me happy.
Yeah.
That's what I'm okay with. Anything that happens, I'm okay with the whole gym. If I'm a bad manager and a bad CEO, and a thing crashes down, as I meditate, the thing a lot of times I'll reflect back onto is just the fact that the joy, and this is true, the joy that I get from just like watching Mike Arrington, the older guy that was able to lose a lot of weight, watching him own it and bench press and feel good.
Yeah.
Like no one can ever take that away from me.
Nope.
No matter how unsuccessful I am with managing people or whatever it is, I can always still be there with someone and help them achieve something. And if I can have that, it's hard. It's really, really hard to get trapped into stress and stuff.
It is. That's a place of complete gratitude because it's so true.
Yeah.
That's the crack, man.
I'm all about it.
I am too. I love it.
I think we have some crack cocaine on set. No, I'm kidding. You ever seen the Anchorman when he's reporting it?
Yeah.
And he pulls it out. He's like, let's do this right now. He's like, no.
I've never snorted Axio before, but I'm sure it's possible.
That's awesome.
At least that would probably smell better.
Yeah. Thanks
So-
for having me, man. I appreciate this.
Bro, this has been amazing, and I'm so glad. Like, guys, like I said, this is the first time we've ever met. But I've just been a fan of this guy, and I'm like, I gotta have him on my show. Like, this is just I knew it was gonna be some good stuff, and it absolutely was. And the recorder says like an hour and 40 minutes. We could probably talk for another 2 or 3 just about like all the war stories we have, and just like the beautiful ways that humans are humans, and we've been able to interact with them. But yeah, man, I just appreciate you coming over today. I really do.
Appreciate you, man.
Really do. You're an amazing human being, an amazing individual. So, guys, that's going to wrap up today's Biohacked Life podcast, and I hope you got something out of today. I sure did. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed this. But as always, if you want to continue to support the podcast, go to the Biohacked Life Tribe on Facebook. That's where we're posting episodes, posting content. I'm going to start posting a lot more of just questions and ideas that I'm having and want your opinion, feedback on, guys. Like I said, it's a tribe, so please chime in and let's create a community of people trying to achieve human optimization, man. Let's go out there and biohack the body. And as always, if you really want to support the podcast, go to robbydangelo.com, click on Rise Up. That is the nonprofit where we work in schools promoting mental health awareness. That is the ultimate mission of everything we're doing right now, is to serve that. But in the meantime, go love and serve the world and change everything around you. Go be the superhero to your loved ones. Love you guys.